it's a brand new day that comes with a fresh episode of your favorite family breakfast show on TV.
Yes, indeed. Look who decided to pay us a visit on our show today.
Really? You had to make it sound that way?
Yeah, she's stopping by.
Wow. I'm
Taking
back
a break
like I never left.
Famous life.
From my famous life, you know, the superstar life. Like I just said, oh, you know what?
Yeah.
Let me come and wake up
Thank
Nigeria.
you for coming to see us on our show today. And it's bright and early. You know, we usually come to you every single day. And this is a great opportunity for you to be with us on the show today.
Yeah, now thank you for letting us into your homes and welcome to our special Thursday edition of Wake Up Nigeria.
Yeah, now as you already know, we're going to be here for 2 hours, and well, almost 3 hours. And thank you for tuning in and giving us a valid reason to do this every single day. My name is Yomi, Owope.
And I am Tope, Olowoniyan. You can stream the show live at tvcentertainment.tv and on Facebook at TVC Connect.
Yeah, also remember to use the hashtag WakeUpNigeria on TVC, on all our platforms, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, to send comments on the show, whatever it is that you want to say to us.
Yes, now remember our app, it still remains available for download on any Android and iOS store, and now that allows you to watch us on your mobile device from anywhere in the world.
All right.
Yeah.
So how's it going, Tope? Welcome back. I know you took a short break for private family related things.
Yes.
But how's Abuja? I mean,
Abuja was good. I mean, I really didn't have time to visit Abuja. I just went. It was a good time with family. You know, sometimes you just need some things to just make you focus on the things that really matter.
Yeah.
And then you just see that a lot of the things you've been focusing your energy on are really not that important.
Yeah, or fighting over.
Yeah. And then you just see that, man, you should just really appreciate the very little things in life that you thought you were owed rather than gifts.
Very true, very true. I mean, in fact, this whole period is making people have like a rethink about what's important, have a rethink about their values, like really what's really going to make me happy as a person. Because you will always assume that, oh, if I had more money, if I had a new job, or you know, whatever it is, but once you get it, you then discover that it's still elusive, you know, until you focus on the things that are important.
They're important to you,
It's really good.
To be honest, I kind of feel like COVID-19 was like a wake-up call for the world. Like,
very true.
Everybody needed to wake up to something. Like, what you could not achieve in the time you had, like the available time with the lockdown and all, just know that all the excuses you were giving were really no excuses. You just didn't want to do it.
Exactly.
You just didn't want to do it.
Very true. Anyways, I'm sure you've been following the show.
Oh, yes, I have.
So I'm following what's going on social media. So lots of crazy things. With Cynthia Morgan and
to be honest,
with Shay.
You have to give me the gist because I saw. Was it yesterday? Was it yesterday or the first day? I remember you were talking about on Coffee Gist. I said Yomi will give me the breakdown of what's going on.
I really was just talking about it from the legal side, from like a management side.
Wow. I wanted the gossip,
no,
like the gist.
I don't have
like you know all those people that know those people.
Well, I don't have like deep gossip
it's
or
coming.
anything like that.
But yeah, just give me small side.
Okay,
gossip.
so maybe on the side we can talk about that. But yeah, lots of stuff are happening, and you know, because of the fact that people are locked down, you're getting reactions from different angles, different sectors. People are just reacting to various things. Celebrities are reacting to maybe stuff that somebody did to them 2 years ago. So things are coming out that normally wouldn't have. And, you know, I would rather a lot of these things are resolved privately. You know, sometimes like when you have maybe an issue with someone and maybe it's been festering for a while, this is the time, I think, to then engage and say, okay, you know what, this happened 2 years ago. I didn't like it. I'm not happy. And all of that. So I think, you know, I'd rather you did that than bring it on social media.
Social media, okay, yes.
And then, you know,
just create unnecessary attention.
Unnecessary attention. Yeah. And it's sometimes it makes the relationship unmendable.
Imperable, yeah.
Eventually, once you put it out there, the person is embarrassed,
Yes,
forced to apologize publicly.
And they're just like, I will get you.
Exactly. So it's tougher when you're faced with those kind of things.
Yeah. All right, then I will take the news now. The Presidential Task Force on COVID-19 has announced that there could be possible cure for the coronavirus in Nigeria. This certainly is a glimmer of hope out of the exhausting fight to flatten the curve of the transmission. Health authorities are further examining claims of a cure for COVID-19 by scientists and researchers in the country. TVC News senior correspondent Femi Akonde reports.
To the next phase.
The Presidential Task Force on COVID-19 returns to their daily briefing after an unusual Muslim Eid al-Fitr celebration. The task force reports that there was a substantial adherence to health advisories against the spread of the virus. Although the number of confirmed cases continues to rise, countries in Africa are experiencing a low rate of transmission, fewer deaths, but measures must be taken to respond to the worst-case situation. This response would be the scramble to find a cure for COVID-19. Nigeria may be closer to getting a homegrown solution to this global pandemic.
We have received a few proposals for local remedies for the disease, and these have been forwarded to relevant agencies for evaluation. For a preparation to be approved for use in Nigeria, it must be subjected to safety, toxicological and efficacy tests.
The Presidential Task Force is also worried about the plight of children whose education have been disrupted by the outbreak of coronavirus. But they insist that there is no hurry to reopen schools until it is safe to do so.
Until we are sure that these children can go to school, return safely, and not bring home with them this COVID material, then infect people who are more susceptible to the disease than they are, then we are running a huge risk.
Health authorities are now escalating fears that the country's health infrastructure would soon be hit terribly by the spreading pandemic if treatment centers across the country are not urgently expanded. Again, there are emerging new studies that are being considered as the novel virus continues to unravel.
There is an urgent need to expand our treatment centers across the country. I therefore call on the state governors and philanthropists to take active and deliberate steps to scale up the number of beds for isolation and treatment of confirmed cases in their states.
Studies have now shown, using this PCR test, in addition to something we call viral culture day to day, that the longest viability period of the virus is about 10 days.
As more Nigerians in the diaspora are waiting in line to be evacuated to their homeland, the federal government also explores all available avenues to accomplish this task. The latest returnees are Nigerians in Lebanon. The Minister of Foreign Affairs says 50 of this batch are girls trafficked to Lebanon.
Express our thanks to the government of Lebanon for helping to facilitate this, and also the Lebanese community in Nigeria who actually funded the cost of the flight and cost of hotel for the 50 trafficked girls.
Gradually, the country moves closer to the easing of restrictions and reopening of the economy. There is now a heightened expectation from the Economic Sustainability Committee set up by the President to help the country withstand the threat of COVID-19 on the economy. Femi Akonde, TVC News, Abuja.
To securities matters now, the Nigerian Air Force says bandits still operating in northwest of the country are in for bad times. Chief of Air Staff Air Marshal Sadiq Abubakar made the disclosure after a meeting with heads of military formations in the region. He declined disclosing what measures are in place against the bandits, but said they have a window to surrender or have themselves to blame.
Our desire is to ensure that we give maximum support to our ground troops that are doing an excellent job, not only in Katsina, in Zamfara, but want to make sure that Kaduna and Niger State is equally covered, properly, so that these bandits will have nowhere to go to. It's either they stop killing innocent people and hand themselves over, or we will deal with them in such a way that they will not be there to kill anybody again. I've identified 1 or 2 areas that we need to do more, and we are going to do more in order to ensure that we get the best out of what is happening.
Outside Nigeria, a track and race system is to begin in England on Thursday as the lockdown eases. This comes as the UK recorded more than 400 deaths in the last 24 hours, bringing its total death toll to more than 37,000. UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson has also been questioned by MPs amid continued calls for his top advisor to resign. Dominic Cummings drove his family hundreds of miles out of London despite a strict lockdown. Mr. Johnson said he was sorry for the pain caused, but said it was time to move on from the role. U.S. coronavirus deaths are now closing in on 100,000 as more than 5.6 million cases and over 352,000 deaths have been confirmed worldwide. Well, that's it on News Update for this hour. Let's take a break now. We will return with sports. Yes. So we'll be starting the newspaper headlines with The Nation. Today is Thursday, the 28th day of May, 2020. We have Osun unveils guidelines for burial. Akere Dolu opens worship centers. Labour, others move to save workers. Don't stigmatize patients, Nigerians urge. 300 tests negative in Taraba State. Cross River has low testing capacity, shortage of personnel, says PTF. 5 states meet 300-bed requirement. Rivers warns hotel owner against blackmailing Wike. Jailed Nigerian freed gets $10 million compensation. Lagos discharges 87 COVID-19 patients. Virus-positive Nigerians won't be brought home. Process to reopen schools, worship centers begins. Aspirants vow to beat unstoppable governor. Obaseki Ize Iyamo open Edo APC ticket battle. PTF meets CAN NSCIA leaders on guidelines to reopen worship centers. PTF okays 3 cure solutions for tests. Lagos to replace Okada tricycle from July. PDP accuses Fayemi of sale of Abuja Governor's Lodge. This and others in the Nation newspaper this morning.
All right. So you've taken the Nation.
Yes.
But I'm just going to take the breakdown of the global cases on coronavirus on the cover of the same paper this morning. As you can see, I don't know if the cameras can pick that up. So right now we are at over 5.7 million COVID-19 global cases. Deaths right now stand at 355,000. And recoveries, the good news part of this whole thing, 2.4 million people have recovered from COVID-19 worldwide. The USA still leads the number of cases at 1.7 million, and deaths in the US now stand at 101,000. That's a huge number, a huge number. And for Nigeria, we have cases at 8,733. Deaths in Nigeria from COVID-19 now stand at 254. Recoveries, 2,501. So that's also good news. And so a bunch of stories on the cover of The Nation that you can check out when you buy the paper this morning.
Well, moving on to The Punch. This morning we have federal government can't cope with increasing coronavirus cases, says Minister. 21 states have fewer than 100 beds each, says PTF. Government shortlists 3 Nigerian drugs for investigation. Nigerians' evacuation suspended. U.S. deaths cross 100,000. Now, there's a photo story here showing officials of the United Nations World Food Program with some parents during the National Homegrown School Feeding Program at Fagba Junior Grammar School, Iju Road, Lagos, on Wednesday. Also, at the bottom of the paper, we have PDP member-elect blocks Kwara Assembly entrance Sikh inauguration. 7 killed as truck car crash on Ilori-Jeba Road. Ize Iyamu emerges Oshomole faction APC camp candidate. Obaseki kicks. 200 Zamfara Katsina bandits killed in airstrikes. DHQ. Police torture man to death over friend's offense and detain corpse. PDP accuses Fayemi of selling Ekiti government lodge in Abuja. At the top of the paper, we have federal government to certify airlines before flight resumes. I've never violated any process in AFDB additional. Reps clash as panel reports blames Nigeria in China. And finally, we have churches may reopen in June, says Khan. You can see this and more in the Punch newspaper for today.
Well, that's it, the newspaper headlines for this hour. We'll take more papers, obviously, later on. Quick break. That's Daily Vulnerable with Trudy there.
Yes.
So lots of stuff happening on Twitter. You know, it's people are home, lots of people are jobless this period. So lots of stories coming up in different areas. But I think the one that's really striking a chord with just about everybody is having to do with racism and also having to do with white on black deaths and cops, you know, over in the US and all that. And sometimes we might feel, oh, it doesn't affect us over here in Nigeria, but we feel it because, you know, these people are black and we have, you know, some kind of affinity with them. So it's a real problem. I mean, you were talking about this gentleman called Floyd just now that you saw on
he actually
on
so
social
there's
media.
a trend justice for Floyd, and he actually traveled from home. He traveled to Minneapolis for work, and he says he didn't actually resist arrest. There was no form of resistance from him. That's probably from people who watched, and he said this was just he was savagely killed. And this is just this goes to show a lot of these deaths that happen from white cops to black people. Sometimes you don't even know what is going on, why they just kill.
They just kill.
And I saw Will Smith tweeted something. He said the black deaths did not just go on the increase, they just started getting recorded. Like they just started getting videoed. So we seeing them now does not mean that it just started. It's been going
it's been going on for many
but
years.
no one ever videoed it, no one ever recorded it. And now that it's coming out, everybody's like, oh, it's just increasing, but it has actually been there for a very long time.
It's really terrible. Let me tell you what happened on Monday or Tuesday when I first, I saw the video online.
Oh, okay.
And so the guy was saying, I can't breathe. And then, but the policeman had his knee on his neck. Yeah, on the ground. Like his face, the side of his face was on the ground.
Like
not the floor,
ground.
like in a restaurant or something. Like on the ground, the street. His face was on the street, and then the guy had his knee on his neck, and then the guy was saying he couldn't breathe. Now, these were my thoughts. Initially, when they said the cops had been sanctioned, I thought it was for another death.
Oh, okay.
From, I think, last year, for another gentleman who was also saying that he couldn't breathe.
Wow.
Same arrest situation, you know, they had handcuffed him. It was a little bit too tight. They had him on the floor, and he was saying he couldn't breathe. That guy died. So I thought it was the same case, only for me to realize that this guy just died on Monday. And so, you know, the backlash has, of course, you know, on Twitter, everybody's responding all over social media. And then we had this response. You were talking about Will Smith just now. We also had a response from the British Nigerian actor, John Boyega. And
I personally feel like if someone feels like they can take a life, sanctioning and taking them out of, firing them. It's not justice enough.
Yeah.
And that may sound brutal, but man, you take a life, they take your life. So that the next white policeman that wants to take your life would be well aware of the fact that I'm going to die as well and not take your life. But saying you're just going to sanction the person and fire the person, he can still kill another black man on the street.
Yeah.
Do you get? He doesn't have to actually be a policeman to kill a black man. It's like the mentality. Like, so if you have the racist mentality, wherever you are, you will kill.
Yeah.
So if there's like a law of you take a life, your life is taken, you go.
It's crazy because, I mean, we live here in Nigeria and we're free because, you know, it's our country. I mean, where we're not second-class citizens, as it were. But if you find yourself over in the U.S., especially in some specific states, you'll discover that there's racism in your face. You walk into a store, they're looking at you in a funny way. You walk into some kinds of restaurants, they're looking at you funny. You walk on the street in some neighborhoods, just walking on the street.
How did you get here?
Just walking on the street in some neighborhoods, you will see white people stop you and ask you what you're doing on their street. So, I mean, so it's institutionalized. I mean, this is what you see in places like Georgia, places like Texas, some parts of Texas, and they have large black populations, but those large black populations are facing a lot of racism. Some of them are getting lynched. It feels like 50 years ago, or like 60 years ago, back in the 50s, where there was a lot of lynching of black people. All of that looks like it's coming back, and it's just very strange when you see and hear things like that.
It's sad because think about it. If our country was the economic situation was stable enough, you wouldn't have Nigerians or Africans in general migrate to these countries. Because I, for one, to be honest, I don't think I can take you treating me. When I went to the UK to study, there was a time I went to a restaurant with my classmates. We just went to get juice, smoothies. It was so funny how I didn't notice the way the shop attendant was looking at me, because in my mind I'm just like, Ogbeni, give me my juice.
Let me pay for it.
And then I realized that he just stopped, and everybody had gotten theirs. And then my classmate was like, "Wouldn't you give her hers?" And that's when I'm like, "Oh wait, is this your?"
This is your racism.
This is your racism. Give me my juice. Do you get? But after we left, we were trying to be like, "Oh, Tope, don't take it personally." And I'm just like, "Wow," like, and I'm looking at myself like, "Ogbeni, you just attended to me. I paid you. It means that I'm not broke. I'm not suffering. I can afford my living."
So you're not being able to relate with racism is basically a function of your upbringing and the fact that you were raised as a first-class citizen where you're coming from.
Exactly.
Imagine if you were raised in, say, that like the US, you'll already know at the back of your mind that you're going to be treated that way.
Exactly.
So you already feel less
of yourself.
But when you have high self-esteem, like when a Nigerian goes to New York, and you have thousands of dollars in your pocket, you're like, what's wrong with this one? Put the thing in the car, let me pay for it. You know, because Nigerians, we think differently, which is why, I'm sorry to say, a lot of Africans don't like us, because you go to another African country, you're overconfident, you're talking loud.
You're overconfident. I just think you just be yourself.
You're just being,
and it's just
let me tell you what happened. There was a day where in another country, I was on a queue, we're coming back to Nigeria, so I saw these Igbo guys. Like 4 of them.
Oh no.
You know, I mean, Igbo guys because they were speaking Igbo.
Yeah.
Right. And so one guy had what they call that thing?
Waist pouch.
Like a waist pouch.
Yeah.
Another was carrying a knapsack. They just looked like they just went, you know, this kind of let's just take a trip.
Yeah.
You know. Then they were speaking the language loud, and you could see that the white people, all the different people, they were not comfortable with who are these Africans? Where are they coming? But Nigerians, you would know them anywhere. We're confident. We don't care. You know, and that's the kind of attitude we should have. That's the way we should respond to racism. When you go out there, you shouldn't feel like, no, don't let somebody treat you like a second-class citizen. But you can't say that to a black American because they've been raised with a certain kind of mentality. They're afraid for their lives. They can't go out, you know, at certain times. They can't dress in a certain way. They can't go to certain neighborhoods. We don't have that here, and it's really strange. Like, we should be thankful though, because you know, I mean, you went into a restaurant and you were like,
for days, to be honest, I kept wondering, every time it went across my mind, I'm just like, hey, like I'm like me. You know this guy me, Temi Tope. You did this.
You get
for there, who will know?
You understand? So you know, I've seen the way Africans are treated. Sometimes outside this country, even in places like Europe, and it's just it's really sad. You were saying just now that, because of, a lot of Africans emigrate because there are no jobs, they're looking for greater opportunities.
Yes.
But then you then find yourself, especially if you're an illegal in that country, you just find yourself at the mercy of those guys. And that's the worst place to be, when they know that you're illegal, and maybe they give you a job in a restaurant or in a particular location, and they just treat you anyhow. Wow. They don't pay you normal wages because they know you're illegal. There's no way you can report, so they can treat you anyhow. And it's really bad,
I was recently reading a script from, how we've been living in bondage, how there's been remakes. I was reading a script on this rattlesnake, and there was this part that got my attention where this girl was telling this guy about Nigerian arts, and it never made that much sense to me till I read it. How she said that these arts were taken by us, they were created by us, they were created for us, and they belong to us. And then she said, these white people came, took our art, and then they wrote about it, and now they expect us to read it as though they gave it to us.
Then they would then say something like, we discovered
and then
the art in Africa.
How did we get there? And it got me thinking, I was not thinking back when I was in secondary school about history, and I'm like, wow. So these people were teaching me about me.
Exactly.
Do you understand? And
trying to explain it to you.
Yes, explain.
Which is ridiculous. When they said, a friend of mine, when we were in school, which was very strange, a friend of mine said, they said Mungo Park discovered River Niger. Was River Niger not there before?
Please,
I don't understand. So that's Mungo
discover?
Park's claim to fame. So Mungo Park's claim to fame is that he came to Africa and discovered River Niger. So now his name is in a history book. The river that was there before.
I also travel and go and discover something. Let's have a short break. We'll return shortly. A very warm welcome to a brand new hour on your favorite family breakfast show.
Yeah, guys, Tope is back.
I'm back like I never left.
She's back, and she has Christmas baths on, as you can see.
Wow. Somebody cannot wear fine clothes.
It's
fine
nice.
Clothes.
Yeah, so I'm saying that it's nice. That's.
Why does it have to put Christmas inside?
Oh, okay. It's the red. The red on it made me feel like it's Christmas
in May.
So it'll be a very nice Christmas in 2020. Can you say amen to
amen, that? Pastor Preach.
Looking forward to a really great Christmas.
In May.
Well, I'm just saying.
Please wake up.
So when we put like this whole COVID thing behind us.
We should just go to Christmas.
Let's just go straight to Christmas, have fun, go into the new year.
Go into 2021 and start afresh.
Start fresh, but but that's for Christmas.
Yeah.
Let's just be hopeful.
Yeah.
And that things get better over the next few days, weeks, and months as well. Anyway, it's the top of the hour, and thank you so much for joining us for the first hour. Sit back, relax for the next 1 hour, 45 minutes with us.
Yeah, that's right. We would love to know how you're doing this beautiful Thursday and how you love my Christmas outfit in May. Go to our social media pages and share with us. Use the hashtag #WakeUpNigeria on TVC.
Yeah, we're here to make your mornings anything but ordinary. Thank you for choosing us once again today.
Yeah, now that's why we appreciate you and we want you to stay safe. A mask remains a vital prop to have when stepping out.
Yeah, don't forget to sanitize as often as possible. If you don't have a sanitizer, wash your hand with soap for 20 seconds. There's a thing that they do in the video. Yeah, so make sure you do it. Not the way Tope was doing it just now, because that's
like
that's
this,
a dance
like
that you were
washing
doing. I saw you
everywhere.
doing this. You were doing the thing.
No, you were doing the ake.
Anyway, so please wash your hands.
Yes, please.
Stay safe. Keep a safe distance from people for this period.
Yes.
It's really, really important.
It's very important.
My name is Yomi, Owope.
And I am Tope Olowoniyan. Stream with us live at tvcentertainment.tv, and you can also join us on Facebook at TVC Connect.
Of course, the app is still available for you to download. It allows you to watch us anywhere you are in the world.
Yes, Mike would say as long as you have internet connection.
Just one. What would it be? Guitar?
Well,
piano?
Just to be proud. I know how to play the keyboard.
Oh, are you serious?
Yeah.
You know how to pick the keyboard, do re mi fa sol
Who
la si?
is this? Can't you just be proud of me? We that, Ajebo children went to Ajebo schools that
Okay, so you can do all
I can
the...
do the,
Oh, very nice, very nice.
As far as you don't watch me do it.
I wanted to learn the guitar one time.
Oh, yeah?
In fact, I went somewhere in Ojuelegba to prize guitars, and yeah, so I could get one and learn. So there was this nice blue guitar that was really nice. I'd been seeing it over the bridge.
Okay.
So eventually I said, you know what, I'm going to go and check. So I went there, and they told me that the guitar at the time was 9,000.
At the time?
At the time, this was way back.
That was a lifetime ago.
Anyway, so it was 9,000. I couldn't afford it. And
You couldn't afford 9,000 there. Big boy.
I was probably 20 or 21, so
okay.
that's a long time ago.
pardon
Probably in 1998.
Oh, wow.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
99, I think, thereabout.
Okay.
So I couldn't afford it, and I thought it was, I would, eventually get to it, but I just never did. So it's one thing that I should have done.
You should.
I've done everything else.
So you can play keyboard?
Except play the guitar. I'm talking about everything else that I wanted to do. I don't feel like playing keyboard.
Wow. Okay. Proud much. But I was thinking, to digress a bit. But I was taking the headlines, and we said I read about 3 possible cures to coronavirus. Just imagine that the cure to coronavirus
came from Nigeria.
See, I will you will pay me for visa to come to this country. I'll be at the...
We'll find the cure. We'll then lock the borders.
And say, yo.
And give them... but I know that there's a race to find a cure around the world. There are like 10 countries are trying to get vaccines.
Yeah.
So that, different companies, everybody's working on it. Pfizer, a bunch of...
Just imagine one agbo. Just 2 spoons of this and 2 spoons of that. Mix it, shake it, and drink.
Who knows, maybe it's even bitter leaf, or... Ugu, or one of these things that
let's just go start eating.
Maybe that's just the solution. And
see, I would tell the federal government that you have to make sure that they give us free visa to every country we want. You have to respect us. When you see us, you say good morning, sir.
Indeed. I mean, that's the way it should be. I think if Africa can find its own homegrown cure, that's a plus for us.
A huge plus, Truly. But then. We will be taking the news now. The Presidential Task Force on COVID-19 has announced that there could be a possible cure for the coronavirus in Nigeria. This certainly is a glimmer of hope out of the exhausting fight to flatten the curve of transmission. Health authorities are further examining claims of a cure for COVID-19.
Returns to their daily briefing after an unusual Muslim Eid al-Fitr.
COVID-19 scientists and researchers in the country. The Presidential Task Force on COVID-19 returns to their daily briefing after an unusual Muslim Eid Fitr celebration. The task force reports that there was a substantial adherence to health advisories against the spread of the virus. Although the numbers of confirmed cases continue to rise, countries in Africa are experiencing a low rate of transmission. Fewer deaths, but measures must be taken to respond to the worst case situation. This response would be the scramble to find a cure for COVID-19. Nigeria may be closer to getting a homegrown solution to this global pandemic. The Presidential Task Force is also worried about the plight of children whose education have been disrupted by the outbreak of the coronavirus. But they insist that there is no hurry to reopen schools until it is safe to do so. Health authorities are now escalating fears that the country's health infrastructure would soon be hit terribly by the spreading pandemic if treatment centers across the country are not urgently expanded. Again, there are emerging new studies that are being considered as the novel coronavirus continues to unravel. As more Nigerians in diaspora are waiting in line to be evacuated to their homeland, the federal government also explores all available avenues to accomplish this task. The latest returnees are Nigerians in Lebanon. The Minister of Foreign Affairs says 50 of this batch are girls trafficked to Lebanon. Gradually, the country moves closer to the easing of restrictions and reopening of the economy. There is now a heightened expectation from the Economic Sustainability Committee set up by the federal government to help the country withstand the threat of COVID-19 on the economy. Well, that's it on news for this hour. We'll go on a break and we'll take sports.
All right, time for the sports update. And Nigeria's Minister of Youth and Sports Development, Sunday Dare, has inaugurated a committee to put in place health regulations for the National Sports Festival Edo 2020. The minister, who reiterated that sports played a leading role in creating awareness about the COVID-19 pandemic in the country, called on the committee to come up with a strategic approach towards using sports as a means to restarting the recovery. The 11-man committee, led by Honorable Tony Okowa, will ensure that infrastructure for the festival meet up with all safety standards and protocols, with plans to hold the biennial event this year. All right, today, May 28th, Thursday, and we're going to be taking a second look at the newspaper headlines, starting with The Punch.
Federal government can't cope with increasing coronavirus cases, says minister. 21 states have fewer than 100 beds each, says PTF. Government shortlists 3 Nigerian drugs for investigation. Nigerians' evacuation suspended. U.S. deaths across 100,000. A photo story here showing officials of the United Nations World Food Program with some parents during the National Homegrown School Feeding Program at Fagba Junior Grammar School, Iju Road, Lagos. PDP member-elect blocks Kwara Assembly entrance 6 inauguration. 7 killed as truck car crash on Ilori-Jeba Road. Ize Iyamu emerges Oshomole faction APC camp candidate Obaseki kicks. At the bottom of the paper, we have 200 Zamfara Katsina bandits killed in air strikes, DHQ. Police torture man to death over friend's offense, detained corpse. PDP accuses Fayemi of selling Ekiti government lodge in Abuja. And at the top of the paper, we have, I have never violated any process in AFDB, says additional. Reps clash as panel reports blames Nigerians in China. Finally, we have churches may reopen in June, says Khan. You can read this and more in the Punch paper for today.
All right, let's take a look at The Nation. Process to reopen schools, a worship center begins. Ize Iyamo vows to beat unstoppable Obaseki for APC ticket. Adesina, I am still AFDB's president. Allegations untrue. Wrongly jailed Nigerian gets $10 million compensation. Wow.
Wow.
Lagos discharges 87 COVID-19 patients. 825 successfully managed. And a few other stories. Virus-positive Nigerians won't be brought home. And we have, of course, the breakdown of the global cases for COVID-19 on the bottom right of the cover of The Nation.
Moving on to The Guardian, we have confusion over Adesina's bid for fresh tenure as AFDB's boss. Bank's chief thanks stakeholders, pledges to steer on. Nigeria's largest shareholder keeps mum amid intrigues. There's a photo story here showing the Nigerian Air Force personnel displaying a locally produced automatic ventilator for COVID-19 treatment at the NAF base in Kaduna yesterday. Also, we have federal government issues guidelines for reopening of schools. And at the bottom of the paper, we have COVID-19 deaths reducing amid disturbing cases, says minister. Why Africa records lowest COVID-19 cases, deaths by WHO. Leaders seek better welfare, education, enhanced future for children. And finally, we have Kaduna extends lockdown by 2 weeks and relaxes movements. You can read these and more in the Guardian newspaper for today.
All right, we've got the Daily Sun here. Federal government moves to reopen schools, to release safety guidelines, adopts 2-shift system. Edo Ondo Guber, APC governors back Obaseki, Akeredolu. Senate, Akpabio at war over NDDC probe. COVID-19, 3 local drugs pass first test. Good news there. And AFDB, I have not resigned, says Adesina. And finally, Almajire, Dangote opens up on influx to southeast, reaches out to Ahaneze. And that's it on the Daily Sun.
Moving on to Vanguard, we have Edo 2020 intrigues as Eze Iyamo emerges to tackle Obaseki. Odubu Ahebere.
Yeah, and that's the Vanguard there. Tope has the Vanguard there. And the cover of the Vanguard has Edo 2020 intrigues as Eze Iyamo emerges to tackle Obaseki. And Odubu Ahierebere and 5 others step down for Eze Iyamo. And a bunch of other riders there on the cover of the Vanguard. And also, I didn't violate AFDB's code of conduct, Adeshina says. And PTF approves 3 potential coronavirus herbal cures for validation. And why we want to amend National Art Endowment Act, says Lai Mohammed. CBN reduces interest rate on OFI's loans, and Buhari lauds Amechi's role in APC's victory in 2015 and 2019. And finally, Governor Matawale declares Zamfara Almajiri state. Oh. And that's it on the cover of the Vanguard. Okay. Tribune, I think you've got Tribune here, Tope.
Oh, okay.
You can take the Tribune.
Nigerian Tribune, we have COVID-19, federal government plans staggered reopening of schools, says 3 local solutions for investigation, pre-flight tests for evacuees in countries they are exiting, 3 lessons Nigeria should learn, says Obasanjo. Can submits guideline to PTF for reopening of churches. Akeredolu lifts ban on religious activities. Lagos discharges 87 patients. NDDC probe, we won't succumb to blackmail Senate. What Southwest states should do to make Amotekun succeed, Alao Akala. Kano abolishes Almajiri system. A photo story here showing Eze Iyamo, Governor Obaseki and Oshomole, APC National Chairman. And we have Edo Guber. Why I want Obaseki's seats, says Eze Iyamo. 7 aspirants step down for him. No man can stop me, says Obaseki. APC candidates can't emerge in Abuja, he adds. We shall be fair to all, APC NWC. At the top of the paper, we have Lake Chad countries get $346 million World Bank facility. And finally, we have AFDB. I am innocent of all allegations, says Adesina. You can read these and more in Nigerian Tribune newspaper for today. Thank you very much, Chef Belinda. Moving on to etiquette today, we have Janet Adetu. Now, she's a certified high-performance coach and etiquette expert. She has joined us this morning to talk about something interesting, which is etiquette in a workplace post-COVID-19. Hello, Janet. Welcome on the show.
Thank you so much. How are you, my dear?
I'm very well, thank you. You look radiant this morning, as always.
We're surviving.
How are you doing? How have you been holding up?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. Thank you.
So we're talking about etiquette in the workplace post-COVID-19. Could we delve into that?
Yeah, you know, the honest truth is that right now, because COVID-19 is there and we really don't know when it's going to go away, I'm going to be talking about workplace etiquette with COVID-19 as it is, and, you know, hoping that COVID will go away, because as it is now, a lot of companies are, you know, some of them have gone back to work, those skeletal work, and some of them are still planning how work is going to be as the new normal, given the scenario, and now, and I think even when post-COVID comes. So we're going to talk right now as we're going back to work. This is what is in the air. How do we begin to make things work for us in the workplace, putting in place protocol and etiquette, at least for safety and security of staff?
Yes.
So I'm going to start by the fact that, you know, employers now, definitely right now, and post-COVID, I'm very sure of, there's going to be an upsurge in playing so much emphasis on health and hygiene. And what does that mean? There's still going to be a lot of washing of the hands, sanitizing of the hands, even wearing of the mask, at least until we are given further instructions. So right now, if you're going back to work, this is what's going to be the new normal. And of course, there's going to be a lot of social and physical distancing right now. And that's why you can see companies are arranging for people to work more from home still while this is out, and maybe till the end of the year we'll wait and see what's going to happen. And so even in the offices, 40, 50, 60% full, and so it's going to be sparsely arranged. That is the new now. And in terms of workload as well, of course, everything is going to be a lot virtual. As you can see now, I typically would come into your office space and do this recording, but right now a lot of virtual happenings, virtual ways of doing things and getting the same results. So meetings now, if we're going to be meeting our clients or talking to customers, it's going to be virtual. But this is what I want to say. In terms of protocol and etiquette, now that there's going to be a lot of working from home and virtual contact, with your meetings, you need to have a lot of protocol. You need to be on time, especially if you are the one that is arranging for that virtual meeting. You can't even afford to be late for that meeting. You need to be there on time. You need to be very well prepared for that meeting. And I mean, dress well, like it is an important business meeting. The fact that you're working from home doesn't mean you should be dressing down and feel very lazy about it or lackadaisical. You need to be prepared for that very important business meeting. Even though it's not physical, it's virtual. So dress well. Know what you're going to say properly. Have your words and your pitch ready. And even if you have to close that deal, so for a lot of marketing and sales people now, there's not physical contact. You're going to have to be going on virtual meetings. You need to know how to close and seal that deal. Again, in the office space, let's talk about dining as well. As you can see, we're not eating out in public anyhow anymore. There's going to be discreet dining. There's going to be a lot of takeaway dining. And if your office has a kitchenette, there's nothing like keeping things in the fridge where everybody can see it and touch it, as the case may be. You can't keep things in the fridge anymore, and you can't keep dirty plates in the sink anymore. So whoever is the cleaner or whatever, you need to plates and things and cups and teacups need to be washed very carefully. Talking about that as well, I don't know whether we're going to have open-made tea anymore, or maybe people are going to make their own tea. Everything is about health and hygiene and safety and security. All right, so dining is like, that's going to be a new change. No open dining and no free will in the kitchen anymore. You need to be very, very careful and mindful. I wouldn't be surprised if people start bringing their own tea and milk to the office, just to play it safe. And still talking about communication in the office as well, I think there's going to be a play down on physical business cards. Okay, there's going to be a lot more e-business cards and virtual business cards, as the case may be. You may now contact your clients more often because it's virtual. Before, when you had to go and meet them in their places of work, you may find that communication is going to increase because you want to be there. Competition is going to be stiff. You want to be in the faces of your clients. So you may be reaching out to your clients now with promos, promotions, different things, discounts. So you're going to be in your clients' faces a lot more now. And even within the office, I believe now, because client and staff will be working from home, there's going to be a lot more of checking in, staff checking in. So on a Fridays, how are you guys today? Are you guys okay? Is everything okay? So you find a lot more virtual communication, even if it is merely on WhatsApp, not necessarily by email, but you're going to find a lot of companies are going to be checking in or telling team leads, check in on your team. Are they all doing okay? Don't make an assumption that everybody's okay. All right. And then again, when it comes to movement in the office, if your building has an elevator, for instance, you can imagine now there's nothing like hold it, for the lift. It's going to be a case now of size numbers, few numbers going into the lift, because that's a very confined space and it's a very high risk space as well in terms of contaminating or catching any of this virus. So there's going to be limited numbers, and I'm sure constant sanitation of those lifts or the elevators, as the case may be. Even the stairs now, there's going to be more of the protocol. Keep to the right. If you're going up the stairs, stay on the right. If you're going down the stairs, stay on the right. And you're going to be very mindful if there's a banister. You don't want to be holding onto that banister like you were before. You need to still be very careful about those banisters. If you see a banister anywhere, even in the mall, you need to be mindful of how you put your hands or how you, unconsciously touch those banisters. Receptions as well. There's not going to be anything like sitting down and waiting forever for someone to, for the person that you have come to meet. It's going to be strictly by appointment. So, and you're going to probably have to do the appointments either by calling in or by even online. So even if your workspace is where you do makeup, or you do your hair salon, or you go do your nails, or you do your lashes, or you do your hair,
Yes.
everything now is going to be strictly by appointment. Nothing like sitting down there
And
forever and
waiting for your
sneezing
turn.
and coughing or whatever.
Yes.
It is all about strictly by appointment. You come at your appointment time, and I'm sure they're going to emphasize this booking by appointment a whole lot more. Let's talk about the toilets. This is a new strategy. There are some buildings where there are 2 toilets for a whole floor of people, and you can imagine how many offices on that one floor. There's going to be a lot more strategy of desanitizing, disinfecting of those toilets. The cleaners are going to be on their toes. If they were cleaning that toilet 10 times before, they're going to be cleaning it 20 times now.
True.
So new strategy for even using the washrooms, because you know it's another confined space as well, and it's a place where we need to be extra cautious and extra careful. So you're going into the washroom, you use a sanitizer. You're coming out, you wash your hands and still use a sanitizer. And of course, I want to talk about doors. Doors is another area that is also high risk. So you're talking about door handles, door bars, door locks. So I don't know. Some people are already using their elbows and their arms to push the doors. They don't really want to touch the handles. But I would say that as part of this whole, pandemic that is going on, I think in all offices it's very important to have the spray sanitizer. So you can have the rub one, but the spray sanitizer should be in every office, so that if people want to pick it up by themselves, spray their table environment, spray the door handle, people won't get offended. People know that it's because they're trying to, it's one of the routines, it's one of the protocols that you're going to be doing or using going forward in an office. So the spray sanitizer, they come in jugs like this, they come in little containers. Right now in my office, I have a spray sanitizer, big container like this in every office. So people have access to it, and they can use it as and when. So you can spray your hands, you can spray your surfaces, you can spray the door handles, and you never can be too careful. It's just
can
one
never
of
be
those
too
situations
much.
whereby it's come and met us. We're taking each day as it comes, day by day, and we're just hoping that it goes away as fast as possible.
Amen.
But we still want to be cautious, and it goes for everywhere. Everywhere is an office. It's not just a formal office. A supermarket is an office for somebody, right? A restaurant is an office for somebody.
Well,
so
thank you.
Even when it comes to dining,
sadly, Miss Janet,
everywhere is an office.
I don't know if you can hear me. We'll have to cut you short there because we're running out of time. But it's always insightful listening to you. It's always there's always something new to learn. And I hope all those who have resumed their workplaces have learned more than a thing or two on how to make sure they stay safe during this period. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
You're most welcome. Thank you so much, my dear.
All right, then. I am sure that you've learned how to stay safe in your office spaces. Avoid touching the railings. Avoid physical contact as much as possible. Sanitize, sanitize, sanitize. We will go on a break. When we come back, Wake Up Nigeria continues.
We're always available for you right here on Wake Up Nigeria. Justin Bieber there. Now, my next guest is Uyi Eboma, who is a tech entrepreneur and consultant. He is a trainer and the CEO of Tech Patriot. And this morning, our discussion is looking at entry paths to technology-related jobs and careers. I don't know if Uyi can hear me now. Hi, Uyi.
Yeah. Good morning. I can hear you.
Okay, excellent, excellent. So how's it going? So we don't have much time, so I think we'll just dive straight to it. So we're looking at technology-related jobs and careers during this period. Suddenly, because of the coronavirus pandemic, we're suddenly seeing how important technology is regarding many jobs. Can you just talk to us, give us a background of technology-related jobs and how people can begin to look for ways to get in that space?
Oh, okay. Thank you very much for having me. And it's so good to be talking about this because it's a real tipping point for technology and for those that want to get in. A lot of people have gotten in before now, but right now is pertinent to really get in, it as a plan B or the main option. And there are entry paths you can start. We have the things that are usually called the short-term path where it doesn't take you very long to learn the skills and you can get on board and begin to grow. While there are other paths that are longer term because they're pretty much more advanced and they involve more technicalities. So it may take you longer, maybe a year or 2 years to get your hands really fluent in those areas. But you can start from the short term, then go middle term, then long term. Let's start with the very basic one, things like graphic design and video editing. They don't take very long to learn, especially if you're in the creative area. Some people don't even believe they are creative. They think because they can't draw, they're not creative because of the way we were raised and all that. But you don't have to be somebody who can draw with pencil and all that. You just need to learn how to use the software, and it will awaken that creativity in you. So you can get in through graphic design and video editing. You can start from there. It doesn't take very long to get to a certain level of proficiency. And with that, you can begin to get gigs. And if you may not get a full-time job yet, but you can get good gigs that you can build your portfolio with and get some really good paying positions, both locally and internationally. Then we can go middle term, where we talk about web development, website design, and all that. There are simple tools you can start with, like WordPress and the rest. Then alongside, you can be learning like JavaScript, CSS to make you, be able to do a lot more. And right now, web design is selling all around the world. Many companies that didn't have web presence and all that are looking for every way to get online because with this COVID-19 episode around the world, everybody just knows that, whoa, we got to buy our land on the net. So you can help businesses, you can help startups to get themselves on the net, and things like SEO optimization and all that things you can learn alongside. You can also go social media way, new media way, and all that. So it's a mix of marketing and technology, all right? So you can go that way to help people, leverage on their social capital and be able to have a web presence and do a lot more on the web. There are a lot more technologies coming out in that area. Some are supporting technologies, while some are the mainstream technologies. So you can learn those ones and go in. They're more of middle term. You need to take some courses here and there. And the beautiful thing about this thing is you don't even need to go to a university to learn all this. You can start learning them online. If you have access to a phone or a laptop and all that, you can start learning them online. There are a lot of teach yourself courses you can do, and you can maybe also get a coach if you can afford
excellent,
it.
Excellent, Uyi. Now, Uyi, can you hear me? I'd like you to talk to us about, I like how you have broken it down to entry level that you can learn quickly and then intermediate and all of that. Talk to us about how people can access opportunities. Sometimes you might not be looking for a full-time job. Maybe you're a stay-at-home mom, or maybe you're in between jobs. You just want something that you can do, or maybe you have a full-time job, but you want some extra income, maybe at night, in the evening when you get back home, and all of that. How do I find opportunities online? So I've got maybe 3-4 hours after work in a day. And I've learned how to, say, edit videos and some graphic design as well.
Okay, very well. We have two kinds of opportunities generally. You have local opportunities and we have international opportunities, or what we call global. So on the local scenes, you have a lot of people that may need your services, but not as a full-timer. They need it maybe based on a project, or like we call it, based on gigs. Like that. So you can join some social communities and showcase what you can do. Some of them could be as basic as some Facebook groups and all that, and show them what you can do. Some of them give provision to sell your market day and all that, so you can tell them what you can do. And definitely people looking for your kind of service will contact you. You can also leverage on international platforms like Fiverr, Upwork, People Per Hour, Elance. These are international platforms that even local people, like when I mean local, I mean people within Nigeria, patronize. So you can get up there, set up your profile, and show them what you can do. Because people is like a marketplace. People go there to look for people that can do jobs for them, especially on part-time basis. Of course, some people land full-time jobs from there. Maybe a side job finally becomes the main job when it starts paying maybe higher than your main gig. And all that. So you can leverage these platforms to showcase yourself and put yourself out there. You can also attend events when you're free, maybe industry-related events where people get to talk about themselves and sell yourself even offline. Yeah, so these are simple ways you can start out. Yeah, and also update your LinkedIn profile as well. Yeah.
So basically, I mean, all of this, it looks like you have to really focus on a lot of your attention on opportunities online. Because a lot of times people think that, okay, I'm just going to get a phone call based on the fact that I've put out something on social media. But now you actually have to seek out these communities and then be a part of them. That's what you're saying to us.
Yes, Yes, yes.
Very important.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Uyi, talking to us about jobs and opportunities that people can get during this period. So, and Uyi Eboma tells us that it doesn't have to be a full-time gig. You can look for project by project basis, and get some extra income in there, even if you have a job that you're doing. Thank you so much, Uyi, for talking to us.
Thank you so much for having me. Yeah, glad to be here. Thank you so much.
All right, so Uyi Eboma there. He is the CEO of a tech startup, and he's talking to us about entry points or entry paths for tech jobs, not just locally, but internationally as well. So get to it, learn something new today, and before long, you're going to be earning some money in dollars as well. We're going to take a quick break now and be back with more on Wake Up Nigeria. Welcome to the third hour of Wake Up Nigeria on a Thursday. And finally, it feels like one more hurdle to get through to get to Friday.
Yes, another perspective would be, you have one more chance to achieve your set goal for the week. Not one more hurdle. Let's be positive.
Let's be positive.
Yes.
One more chance to achieve your set goal.
Yes. Now, if you're just joining the show, you have missed quite a bit. I'm not going to tell you. You've missed a lot. Where have you been? But still, you can catch a whole 45 minutes of your premium breakfast show, Wake Up Nigeria.
And if you've wondered where Tope has been, ask her that question online. Use the hashtag Wake Up Nigeria on TVC and ask her, Tope, where were you?
Wow. Wow, you just had to add that. Well, yes, like he said, my name is Tope Olowoniyan, and he is the one and only.
Yes, indeed. Yes,
Say
indeed.
so.
My name is Yomi Owope. You guys know now.
This is his style.
Yeah, that's the
Sprinkle
flavor.
a little something.
Yeah, a little something for you. And, well, the show is online right now. And you can find us at tvcentertainment.tv and also on Facebook at TVC Connect.
Yes, now you know what? Let's just go straight to what we have left on the show.
Can you imagine? I'm not sure you can learn how to play sax in 8 weeks. Do you know that officially by this weekend,
yeah,
we would have been on essentially a lockdown. I mean, it's been eased in the last 3 weeks, but like a lockdown for 2 months. So the whole of April and then most of May would have been, and then, so really people are really, hoping that things will get back to normal from June.
Yeah.
That's really something good to hope for, because by the end of June, for instance, when things start getting into shape, then you then have July to December. So 6 full months.
2020, that will be the real 2020.
Exactly. So July to December, 6 full months to hit restart or reset or, whatever. Yeah, so reset I think is good. So you just press reset and just start again, afresh.
I think we should do Happy New Year in July. Like, Happy 2020. Like that would be the real 2020.
Just really get back, get people back to work, get actors back on set. Lots of people who haven't had anything to do. Events, the event industry,
I feel for them.
event planners, photographers, lots of people.
Creative people that have to be, their job requires them to be around a lot of people.
Exactly. There's some people who their work is from Thursday, Friday. So maybe I work at weddings. So Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and sometimes Sunday. That's when I'm busy. And then suddenly, no work. Wow. It's tough.
Yeah, don't worry. Let's prepare for 2020 2.0.
Exactly.
Starting in July.
So reset, get back on the horse.
Get back strong.
Yeah, come back strong. And you know how I always say on the show, God can turn your setback.
Yomi, do you know that you went for like the first hour without saying anything good? And I'm like, wow, things are changing.
No, but it's good. Okay, so I don't use so many scriptures anymore like I used to.
Wow.
But now I have all the scripts that I use.
And you're ready.
And that'll help you position you for your destiny.
For greatness.
And get you where you gotta go.
I think there's a sound that you have to go with. There's a tone that you have to
there's a reposition yourself.
I'll be your usher.
Awaken the giant in you.
Please don't
be
awaken.
Provoked toward your purpose.
Thank you, Yomi. Let's just take the news.
Exactly. And Tope is going to take the news right now.
Yes, the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19 has announced that there could be possible cure for the coronavirus in Nigeria. This certainly is a glimmer of hope out of the exhausting fight to flatten the curve of the transmission. Health authorities are further examining claims of a cure for COVID-19 by scientists and researchers in the country. The Presidential Task Force on COVID-19 returns to their daily briefing after an unusual Muslim Eid Fitr celebration. The task force reports that there was a substantial adherence to health advisories against the spread of the virus. Although the number of confirmed cases continue to rise, countries in Africa are experiencing a low rate of transmission, fewer deaths, but measures must be taken to respond to the worst case situation. This response would be the scramble to find a cure for COVID-19. Nigeria may be closer to getting a homegrown solution to this global pandemic. The Presidential Task Force is also worried about the plight of children whose education have been disrupted by the outbreak of the virus. But they insist that there is no hurry to reopen schools until it is safe to do so. Securities matters now. The Nigerian Air Force says bandits still operating in northwest of the country are in for bad times. Chief of the Air Staff, Air Marshal Sadiq Abubakar, made the disclosure after a meeting with heads of military formations in the region. He declined disclosing what measures are in place against the bandits, but said they have a window to surrender or have themselves to blame. Outside Nigeria, a track and race system is to begin in England on Thursday as the lockdown eases. This comes as the UK recorded more than 400 deaths in the last 24 hours, bringing the total death toll to more than 37,000. UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson has also been questioned by MPs amid continued calls for his top advisor to resign. Dominic Cummings drove his family hundreds of miles out of London despite a strict lockdown. Mr. Johnson said he was sorry for the pain caused, but said it was time to move on from the role. U.S. coronavirus deaths are now closing in on 100,000 as more than 5.6 million cases and over 352,000 deaths have been confirmed worldwide. Well, that's it on the news for today on Wake Up Nigeria. Sports is up next with Yomi.
Well, thank you, Tope. And Nigerian Sports Minister Sunday Dare has inaugurated a committee to put in place health regulations for the National Sports Festival Edo 2020. The minister, who reiterated that sports played a leading role in creating awareness about the COVID-19 pandemic in the country, called on the committee to come up with strategic approaches towards using sports as a means of restarting the recovery. The 11-man committee, led by Honorable Tony Okowa, will ensure that infrastructure for the festival meet up to all safety standards and protocols, with plans to hold the biennial event this year.
On art display, we have Ebenezer Olowoniyan, a young practicing studio artist who paints the inspiration he creates to come through experience, sound, written words, music, and sometimes nature. His paintings exude emotions like fear, anger, joy, and he has joined us to talk about his works and also showcase some of his paintings. Good morning, Ebenezer.
Good morning, Ma.
How are you doing?
Nice to meet you. I'm very fine, Ma. Thank you.
How are you? How have you been holding up with the lockdown and the easing up of the lockdown?
Well, it's fine actually, because we used to that as an artist. You are in the studio almost 24 hours. So it's not a new thing to me personally, because I'm always in the studio. Unless I have some things to do outside.
Oh, okay. So now
Yes,
the art piece I'm seeing behind you, did you do that yourself?
Yes. This is a portrait of. I titled this one a portrait of a lady, a masked lady.
Lady.
It talks about the situation of the that we're facing presently.
Also, this is a current piece.
Yes, definitely. Yes, this is the most recent one of my works.
Okay, could you just tell us the story behind it, what inspired it, and what the lady is going through? Because your bio says that your work shows emotions, fear, anger, and also what's the story behind this piece?
Yes, the story behind it is, when I go out during the lockdown, I mean, it's still going on. So when I go out and I see a lot of people around with their a kind of new life that we have to adapt to. So
Yes.
everybody has to carry a face mask and be conscious of our environment, the people standing behind you, the one after, in front of you. So you have to be very, very careful of things. So I see fear. I see hunger because we're not used to all this kind of a thing. So we're trying to adapt to it. So I try to imagine things and the thing, how the whole world is coping with the situation of things.
Yes.
So that's what inspired the work actually.
Now, so this particular work, is this someone you know, or did you just create this face?
Okay, I created this face.
Wow.
I created this face, yes, because I use a lot of other materials to bring about this face. So I bring one or two together, mishmash, and I just find a way to create the image, in a way.
Now let's talk about your line of business.
In a way.
Now let's talk about your line of business and the lockdown. How have you been able to manage financially? Because now there's no exhibitions, there's no way for customers to come to you because of the physical and social distancing. So how have you been able to manage sales of your pieces during the lockdown?
Yes, it's good actually, because when the lockdown started, it's very hard because clients are not coming. You find it not easy to, when you communicate with a client. Okay, we've been discussing before the lockdown that it's time for you to pay. Just pay, make I create your work, but then they start complaining about, okay, they need to hold on to the money and use it for some other things that is more necessary. So but after some couple of months, after the first month, we start getting to it and people are coming around because I realize people are starting to live with it. So one way or the other we survive. Survive, yes.
I'm sure. So now, as an artist, have you had any art exhibitions in the course of your career, or are you planning for post-COVID?
Yes, I've exhibited my works before, and I just at the time I step back and try to focus more on my skill, acquiring more skill and creating more interesting content.
Yes.
I don't want to get out there and find myself wanting in one way or the other. So I have to step back and relax and put more effort into what I'm creating, what I need to create, what I need to be before people start noticing me. I don't want to step out and realize I'm not what I want to be. So I step down so I could create more. Then I go with it along the way. I'm hoping for more exhibitions to come because I will still exhibit a lot of works. I have a lot of content I'm going to be putting out very soon. So I believe there is more exhibitions to go for me. Definitely.
Okay, all right then. I do wish you all the best. Thank you so much, Ebenezer, for sharing your work with us.
Thank you so much for having me. It's a real privilege. I'm very, very grateful.
All right, we've got our final guest who's already on standby for us as one of Nigeria's fastest growing saxophonists, and he's an entertainer and a friend of the house, Beejay Sax, and is joining us via Zoom this morning, talking about challenges that artists are facing this period, not just performing artists, but actors like Tope. She's not facing any challenge. She doesn't look like she has any issues right now. So, but anyway, Beejay Sax is on standby for us right now.
Hi, Beejay Sax.
Yeah. Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning to you.
Good morning.
How are you doing?
Very well, thank you.
Well, you don't look like you're facing any challenges.
Looks like they finally let you out of the house.
Well, finally, we can do one or two things around, But it's not been easy as an artist.
Yeah.
It's not easy at all. It's not been easy being locked down. We make money from gatherings.
Yeah.
The larger the gathering, the more the money.
I know, right?
Very true.
You understand?
Yeah.
So, but, well, we've tried to improvise and do a lot of things online and all.
Yep.
It cannot be like when we really gather. We are very sociable people. We are very social people. We like to party. We like to see each other. We've tried a lot of these Zoom things. We've tried online, YouTube, tried a lot of Instagram Live, but it's still
But it's not
not
the
like,
same.
But it doesn't feel the
it's
same.
not the same at all. It doesn't
Yeah.
feel the same. And, um, a lot of people, a lot of artists, for example, for me, my band, my crew, they've not been able to work for a while.
Okay.
They've not been able to make ends meet, from the regulars that we always do. So yes, we are one of the most affected by this pandemic stroke lockdown. But
Yeah.
we're
So,
still alive. We're trying to
yeah.
push and hoping that things get better.
Now,
Amen.
Beejay, I wanted to know, I'm curious to know, so those clients that you collected advance, the ones you took advance from earlier in the year, did you
I can
refund
tell
them
you
or
what is
you
going to
guys
happen.
postponed the event?
We don't even know what is going to happen. There are a lot of jokes out there, but it's serious reality. Why? Because people say that this year is post. Why? Because people say that this year is post. So we're going to repeat 2020 in 2021. As funny as it may sound, that's what it looks like is going to happen. Because, okay, let me give you an example. I had a booking outside the country. I think it was a birthday. It was meant to be yesterday.
Wow.
We had a small meeting in Zoom, but it's been postponed to next year.
Oh,
So it
wow.
means that I have to be realistic. That same program is going to happen same date next year, but it means that the fresh booking I'm meant to get for that particular date
It's gone.
next year is not going to happen.
Yeah.
And for some reason or the other, they've bought my tickets. They've paid me 100%.
Wow.
Wow.
And so many, yeah. And I'm sure they've booked the hall over there. They've also bought tickets, their guests and everything. So it's something we don't even know how to fix. For us, it's even better. Consider the venue people. The venue vendors, what's going to happen? So imagine you have a date. Imagine you have an event in December, say December 25, for example, and there's someone that had maybe a May event, it's shifting the dates. We won't even find dates again. So we don't even know what we're going to do, but we hope, when this is over, we'll find a way to figure it out.
Amen.
Yeah.
But what plans did you make during the lockdown in terms of how to sustain yourself and remain relevant as an artist during this period? I mean, we are hoping for the coronavirus to go away, but what are your plans if we still have to work with virtual realities? What's the plan for Beejay Sax brand?
Well, fortunately for me, I have a studio at home.
Oh, great.
So during the lockdown, I've been doing a lot of live Zoom parties, YouTube. We've been engaging our fans on online virtually. As you can see, we are here. Normally, as a friend of the family, I'll be at your studio by now.
Yes.
But guess what? We're here having this live on Zoom. So it just means that, we always have to figure out a way around it. So for me, I've been doing a lot of things online. I've tried to be creative, We also need to be careful so that when this is over, we can also sustain, so that people don't get used to these online things. Let them pay for our tickets and let us travel.
Yeah.
Let us tour the world as usual. So I've had birthdays, services, performances from the studio, streamed in America, streamed all over the world.
Wow.
So we plan to do so many things. Online concert. I was meant to do a concert this year. In fact, I've fixed the date, booked the venue. I've done so many things, but here we are. So we'll try to be innovative. We'll keep finding a way to engage the clients, the fans all over the world till we're able to survive this season. We have staff to pay. We have a lot of them, the management team, the sound team, the sound technical crew. It's just been, we've been trying to hold up. Nobody has experienced this before.
Yeah.
Especially our generation. So it still seems strange. It feels like a dream. I try to imagine what's going to happen to the flights. We're going to start looking for dates. it's really, really, really scary, you know, but we're hopeful.
Yeah, so Beejay, I wanted to touch on a particular area that is also very important. So there are a number of upcoming acts. I mean, you are one of the more established saxophonists that we have in Nigeria. You've got a lot of bookings, lots of events that you go to in churches, weddings, and things like that. But a number of talented upcoming artists that suddenly things just dried up for them at the beginning of the year when things were just picking up. If you knew any of these artists or you wanted to talk to any of them, what would you say to them as a way of getting back into the flow of things once we open up the economy fully?
Okay, well, you need to put your materials out there. First, there's the economic situation as a result of this lockdown. I mean, this pandemic is also to be considered. People don't really have a lot of money to party as they would have. Everybody's trying to manage what they have because we don't even know what it's going to be. Basically, put your materials out there. Try to be as innovative as possible. Being an artist is all about creativity and innovation, not just about the craft, but in your music business, in how you get your music out there and how you make your money. As I always say, you know, either upcoming, some established popular artists are going to go back to being upcoming. Because of this thing that is going on now. I'm telling you, a lot of people have not been able to engage their fans. So some are technically forgotten. You know, and it's going to be a struggle to get back. But as I always say, one has to strategize, find a way to put the music out there. More than releasing music, there's also the business aspect of it. Finding a way to make money online, iTunes, YouTube. It's a digital space, it's a digital world. So there are a lot of things that we can do. Personally, this has opened to a lot of other things, you know, also knowing that my income does not have to come from live programs alone. You know, trying to find alternatives online, you know, YouTube, a lot of online platforms, really. You know, so that's what a lot of us need to look into moving forward.
Wow, I mean, that's some good advice there, you know, because new opportunities are also opening up, even though it's challenging on the one side. So hopefully some of our young artists and talented guys are also looking in that area as well. Well, thanks so much, Beejay Sax. I know that you've got a busy day trying to see your clients and get that money in and take care of that new wife.
We've lost a lot.
So
we have to find a way to get it back.
Yeah, please, our regards to this new wife.
I will.
All right,
I will.
then.
She will hear. She'll get your message. Thank you very much for having me on the show.
Thank you.
Have a good one. Keep in touch.
You too. Bye.
Bye. Oh, Yomi, you really just couldn't stop the new wife, fresh wife.
Yeah, because, you know, there's a feeling to it. You know, when you're in the honeymoon stage, which is 18 months to 24 months.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's called the honeymoon phase.
So now you're in daddy and mommy.
Yeah, the kids around now, so there ain't no honeymoon going on. But it's been a great show.
It has been a great show.
Big thank you to all our guests for joining us, and especially our experts as well that joined us on the show today, and the artists, really great artists that joined us. Really
Thank you to everyone that joined us. Thank you to you, our amazing viewers, for always tuning in every day. Guess what? We're going to be here tomorrow, same time, and I'm going to be here tomorrow. You definitely do not want to miss the Friday edition of Wake Up Nigeria.
Yeah, tomorrow I'm just going to avoid Tope's drama.
Wow.
And
trust me, you
just
want,
back away.
You want all this
keep my distance away from her.
Use the hashtag Wake Up Nigeria and tell me what you're expecting tomorrow. I can't wait to hear from you guys.
All right. Bye.